Snip, snip, snip. See if I can do this in a way where I can retain the use of this box for another package that I might send out. What the hell? Just open it up. So this will contain a check and a letter, which I will put aside, and it will contain some pens that I sent off to be looked at by the customer, and all sorts of complicated instructions written in many different inks and many different pen styles. So I'll have to make sure I do this all very carefully. Okay, here's a pen that I sent off. That one there. What does this say? This has a note on it. A note. Maybe a note. Ah. This feels most effortlessly. Writing notes with cold hands feels the magic with this little guy. Also, I find it best for drawing trees and birds. No, birds, boobs. Good for drawing, I think, birds. Drawing trees and birds. That's a tree, evidently, and no. Nonsense is something with this one. I named it for her also. Okay, that one goes here. It's nice to, so these are pens that I sent to be looked at and perhaps purchased, and these are so cute. They're little messages in a bottle. This one has an old soul. It has a good tone, don't you think? It sounds like 100 years when it meets the paper. This is a cute little Schaefer. Yeah, I can see where the old soul comes in. I understand how that works. Set that here. That one goes with that one. And what's this one? Oh, I remember this one. These pens that I'm unwrapping now were sent to a person I did not speak with. I spoke with the friend of this person that had these pens. And I was trying to guess what she might like. Being the something that I am, being the crow that I am, this little guy makes me lose focus with lose fear, lose faith, lose something with its shiny waves. But of the tenses, I like him best. Still heavy enough to work long term without tiring. Okay, so this one let's just see what these all write like. Hello Osni, how are you? I'm going to take a look at these pens and just dip them and see how I remember them. And then there's more yet, but we'll start with these. These are the ones that I guess the woman artist who was interested in these ended up deciding against. Okay, this one. It's quite lovely. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm glad to have it back. That goes with this note. I feel I can't sell these pens now that they're they've come back with such an added history. This, oh wow, really nice wet flexible nib. What did this person say about that? This one has an old soul. It has a good tone, don't you think? It sounds like 100 years when it meets the paper. So why didn't this person buy these pens? They seem to be understanding them. This one, this is very fine. Just a slight flexible line available with it. This one had this note. Keep those together. And I guess this one did not have a note. Well, it's not at all connecting here. Oh, okay. This might go with the other information, because it seems to me that there was some nib frankenpenning going on here. So now let me see what this says. I know there's all sorts of complexities. Oh dear. Okay, this was the pen. This was the Franken pen that I made for him. This is the person that actually sent the box back with me. And this is something that I didn't send him, I'm sure, because it's way too modern. But I'm sure that that will be in his notes. The notes are a little voluminous. There are pages and more pages of notes. So anyway, I'll deal with these things later. Hello, Luann Barb. Is that who I just spoke with on Facebook? Is that who are you the one that just texted me on Facebook? And looking back at what is it you're looking for? Spencerian script, Lammy Twisby, fine work 2. Hi. It's nice to meet you. Hello. Um, one of the things I just wanted to kind of explain, there are purists who believe that doing correct copperplate and Spencerian script, you use a dip pen and you dip it and you write, and then you dip it and then you write, and then you dip it and you write. And I ask people like this, why don't you use your fountain pen to do that? Because they also have fountain pens that have flexible nibs. And there's something about the dipping and the steel nib and the scratchiness and the replacing the nib and the ritual that they like, as well as I think that there's a way where they also maybe can get their letters to look better when they're using a dip pen rather than a fountain pen. Now, I'd have to ask them specifically and watch them and listen to their answers and watch them again and listen carefully. And usually by that time, my mind has wandered onto something else, and I don't want to say I'm bored with what they're telling me, but it's outside of my ability to understand what they're saying. So I end up just saying, okay, I believe you. Go away, let me play with my own pens. So, but I always think, okay, let's pretend that you're a purist and you want to use the ink pot and you want to use your steel nib and you want to use your dip pen and you want to be at your desk with the candle going over here and the, or whatever the romance you want. But I think if you had a fountain pen that had ink in it and you're waiting in line at the bank, or you're at the cafe waiting for the waiter to bring you your food you ordered a half an hour ago, you could be having a piece of paper and a pen in your hand, and you can be practicing your circles and your ups and downs and your back and forths. And whether this pen works exactly like the dip pen, by having a fountain pen that has some flexibility or a lot of it, will allow you to practice your letters and to learn how to move your arm and to do all the things that your hand up to your brain do. If and that a fountain pen can do, a pencil can do that. Even if you wanted, you can use a pencil, but the feedback isn't as good as with a fountain pen. So anyway, if I end up selling you a fountain pen, or anyone watching this gets a fountain pen and they're trying to learn Spencerian and trying to do it exactly like they're supposed to in the books, and you may not be able to get exactly what you want. But I think for the most part, it will get you 93% there. And it's comfortable and easy to use a fountain pen. And you don't have to carry an ink bottle with you. You don't have to buy a new nib every week to put in your holder. So all in all, I think it's good. Now, let's just take the three pens that came back to me today. The one that is the one that a calligrapher would like the most, the nib of which would be this one, I bet. Pen from 1910, Schaefer. Why is it railroading? Because I'm just dipping it. Are you still with me, Barbara? Yeah, well, a pen like this will do that. And again, I don't know why it's railroading right now. Let me fill it up actually with ink. Let's see. Would you like to join me? Would you like me to send an invitation and your voice and your face will appear right over here next to me? You know, the screen will be split. The spleen will be scrit. The screen will be split, and I'll be on one side and you'll be on the other. And we can talk without having to type. But see, this pen would be perfect, I would think, for anyone that wants to learn how to do. You're shy today? Well, the nice thing about having one of these cameras that's pointing down is I don't have to comb my hair. Just to show you, though. Okay, where am I in this picture? Okay, Pierre, there's my face. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Hello. I'm not shy. So a nib like this would be fun for anyone, really. You or the next guy. Let's see what other. This one, which was the one that's very fine, fit in a workbook. Okay, I don't know what you mean by workbook. When I think of workbook, I think of a computer, laptop. God, this is a nice nib. I'm glad I got this pen back. I like it. I'm my best customer. I always buy the Spencerian script workbook. See, I don't know, is it the thin enough to fit between the lines you're writing, or is it a physical thing that this has to fit into? That's what I don't understand. I think you mean the former. It has to be thin enough. The thin has to be thin enough to, so you don't. I mean, is it stuff like this, you know, where you have to, you know, fill in the lines? Is that the idea between the spaces? Okay. Well, maybe what you have to do is send me, you know, send me a picture of what this book is with a ruler next to it so I can see how far the lines are apart. And that'll help me know that I'm not getting you something that's too fat. All of these pens that I got back today are really, really good. Even if this wavy pattern is distracting to the artist that was trying it out. Did she like drawing trees with this one? I can't remember. Can I get close? I guess I can't. I have to move this thing closer. It's going to fall off my folder. Damn it. My life is just awful. Everything is sort of balanced. And my iPad Pro will come sliding off onto the floor and get another crack in it. This is a real rubbery. The reason that this, I remember now, 2 years ago, I sent these pens off, and I'm remembering why I sent this pen. The recipient wanted gold pen, an all metal pen for some reason. I don't know why, but they did. And I put a nib that was nice and sturdy. Okay. I just want to try this Skyline out. I really like these pens a lot. I love drawing with them. Osni, do you have a Skyline? I wish I had this nib in the other Skyline the other day. I was drawing with one that had a stubbier nib and then one that was really fine and not very flexible. But this single nib can sort of do what both of those pens were doing. Norbert. What kind of name is Norbert? It is a little difficult to pull out the sections. The sections, sometimes you have to screw them out. So what you do is you'd very carefully, what I often do is I'll take masking tape or tape and completely cover both halves with two different pieces of tape. And then I can put my pliers on one or both ends and twist. But you have to be careful. You don't want to twist and put plier marks all over it. Okay, well, I'll find something for you, Barbara. So send me an email. Do you have my email yet? I can't remember. Hello, Ms. Marilyn, darling. Send me a text saying what's your email and I'll send it to you. I'm doing okay. I got some pens back that I had sent a year and a half ago, maybe, to someone, and they came back with little notes. Being the crow, I think that's what it says. Being the crow that I am, this little guy makes me lose fear with its shiny waves. I don't know, but of the tenses, I like him best. Of the tenses, I don't know what that means either. Anyway, focus. Lose focus, yes, focus with the waves. Okay, so you're trying to write and little sparkly things get in the way. I made some little diploma people today. Oh, thank you. She sleeps through class most of the days. Little tired eyes. Anyway, they are fun, and I'm sort of getting over doing them at the moment. I feel I need to focus on getting some other things done. I don't know what. Making money. Maybe she's reading, yes. Maybe she's reading. So I just filmed this morning the three pens for the Apple Boom pen series. And I sent them to Just Apple Boom, and he thought that it was very nice. This is Boinga Boinga and a half. Well, I'm not ready to move on quite yet because I still have a few diplomas. I want to finish the ones that I bought to, in fact, do this with, and then I'll put all of them away and start something else. So this one, I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work. How am I going to make this be significantly different from the other ones I've done? Where are the ears in this one? Where's the nose? And the boring refrigeration and air conditioning school diploma. Something nice about these little lines there, the curlicue and the dots. Air Conditioning Institute. Oh, this was a mask I made that represents. Oh, this is during the COVID days, and I was making COVID faces out of Corona beer boxes. So here was Moe, the Three Stooges. Here's Moe and Larry, Shemp. Oh, here's Curly. We got Curly. So the caption of this was, the fish wasn't part of it. The caption for this was, Moe, Larry, and Curly look on with disapproval as Shemp gets it on with Marlena Dietrich. Tell me how you want it. Oh, I guess she's lying down like this. Tell me how you want it. And he just doesn't have a clue. Poor Shemp. What do you think? There's Mo and Curly and Larry. So I'm going to find a frame to put these in. Did we lose Barbara? Did she run and hide from my gutterful humor? Oh, you're still here. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm ready to see faces in this one. St. Paul's Lutheran Rectory. I think I made the only face I could out of that one. So you're looking for any flexible nib. Okay, that's fine enough. Well, I'm thinking that I will find one of those for you easily enough. What I'm going to do when I send you the pen, or maybe pens, maybe I'll send 2 or 3, each a little bit different. I'll show you, okay, this one can have this range. And what you have to do with the pen in your hand is to copy what I did, but try to get the finest line that I got by lifting up on the pen, and the heaviest line I got by pressing down. And sometimes people, they're used to writing with a ballpoint pen or something, and they write heavier than they need to. So the point is, I guess you need to learn to lift up and press down. You can't just press down. You have to do both. I have an art opening to go to tonight. Check the time here. So it's going to be at 6 to 8. I either have to ride my bike, huffing and puffing, oh, yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Riding on water. So here's that same pen that I got back. Same pattern, slightly different color. And this one I've made into a dip pen nib because it doesn't have a lever. I can't fix those. I can have them fixed, but I can't fix them myself. So anyway, what I did is I put a Victorian dip pen in here. Okay, bye. So this is, the pen is functional for me at my desk. Boy, this is a nice nib. I have some really nice pens. I'm just saying, I'm a very lucky man. And I should start selling some of these pens because I don't need all of them. I'll just show you. If I can. All of these are different kinds of nibs. And that's just what I have at my desk. What I have in the rest of my house that I'm tripping over every day are all the other 2,000 of them. And now 2004, 4 of them came back. You haven't seen the half. Do you want to see the half of it? The more of the half of it? Follow me. I can even get over. Okay, hold on to your seat. What's in all these drawers? I'll give you one guess. Pens and parts of pens and nibs and what's in all these drawers? Or these? Hey, Cedar. Cedar. Cedar is a very amazing artist who I will strive to be like him one day. No, I can strive to be like him today. I will never be like him, ever. But I can strive. We both do things well, I'd like to say. There's a certain quality to the drawings that he does that I wish I could do in my drawing. He's able to draw the figures without fear. And not figures, but faces and feet and hands. And sometimes his drawings, they end up looking like the person has 2 left feet. But they're fun. They're sort of cartoony and fun, and sometimes there's a double jointedness involved, and sometimes there's a head that's divided into 4 pieces, like it went through the meat cutter at the butcher. You have the eyes, then you'd have the nose, then you'd have the mouth. right? Hey, divorce. Or do we call you divorce? Divorce. So anyway, we all do God's work in our own way. Reminds me of a Frank Lloyd Wright story, which may or may not be true. It should be true if it isn't. He was visiting an architecture school, and one eager student said, "Mr. Wright, could you look at my drawings?" And Mr. Wright, Frank Lloyd Wright, went over and looked at the drawings on the drawing table. And "What do you think of it?" the student asked. And Frank Lloyd Wright said, "We all do God's work in their own way. You in yours, and mine in his." So, bump, bump. So Cedar and I, there's a similarity in what we do. We love making drawings with pens, and we want the drawings not to look rendered with little, and that's nothing wrong with this kind of rendering where every line is predicted and planned out in advance, or looks like it is. And then there's the way that he and I draw, where this is boring and will take too long. I don't have enough time. I need to do this quick. So Cedar and I draw faces. They may not be accurate, and they may not wow the next guy. I'm in this Facebook group that's about pen and ink drawers, and I post my sketches, which are done in pen and ink. And someone might give me a little heart, but the ones that people really give hearts to are the ones that are amazing. They're amazing. They look like an engraving, and I can draw that way too. It's a drawing I did of the launch of the Olive, christening of the Olive. Lots of little tight crosshatchy lines. Did I make those alla prima? Not really. I mean, the watch one, it took me a long time to get that one figured out. Cedar, do you want to join us? Or divorce? Would you like to pop in? I mentioned you not by name, Neville, but by story about the Frankenpen and how you coined that term. I think you asked me how your Frankenpen was going, and I didn't know what you were talking about. So I think you invented it, and if you didn't, you should have. But I think you invented it. Did you not invent it? Please tell me that you invented it. Oh, good. Did you invent that name, though? That term? Because when you used it... Oh, okay. Well, Yes, we'll talk. You don't remember? Well, you you referred to it for me, and I hadn't heard it before, so it was new to me. So, and you knew it before I knew it. So, if it wasn't you, it must have been who would have used that term. I don't think Susan Worth would have done it. I don't think, this was long before, well, not long before, but I think I'm going to go with you. I'm gonna say you did it. In the OED, it'll say the first time this was used was because of you. Well, I do remember that too. Because what you did just seemed like, in a way, it's like, here's a spider, its 8 legs, and you're a scientist, and you're just going to decide how many legs a spider really needs to walk. So you pull this one off and that one off and this one off, see how well it works, and then you pick a different spider and you pick different ones off, and you know damn well that you're just being cruel. And that's what your Frankenpens sort of looked like, when you would shove some sort of sponge in a rapidograph pen and fill it with some of Nathan's disappearing ink. It just seemed like there's no reason that this should even happen. Hello, Cedar.
Here, how's it going?
It's going okay. I'm just bitching.
Am I coming through okay, or am I?
You're kind of foggy. You sort of have this atmospheric distance in there.
Yeah, my reception not great here. So hopefully, it's not all cutting out and sounding terrible.
So you have a new house.
Yes, yeah,
Condo, rather.
yeah. Well, yeah, my mom helped me get a condo, so I guess I'm a homeowner now.
Good.
Which is a little
I'm
scary,
making
but
I'm making a bad joke in my head.
Well, what's the joke? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. You go from homo to homeowner.
Well, I suppose so. Yeah, it's kind of gone in that sequence, hasn't it?
Yes. I'm sorry. That was unkind.
I know, it's funny.
Um,
How have you been? Everything going well for you over there in
well,
Boston?
my electricity was turned off for lack of payment the other day,
Ah,
and it's not entirely because I'm broke. It's also because I am lazy and I buy pens instead of pay my bills. So
see,
and
I
I don't
can't do that anymore.
and I don't bill my clients that owe me money, even though the job is finished, because I'm too lazy or something. I don't know. I just need to have a secretary to do all of that
Yeah,
work.
yeah, for
So,
sure.
so you have the new home condo, and are you going to set up a dedicated drawing area?
Oh yeah, for sure. Right now it's just a disaster. It's just boxes and just stuff thrown everywhere. But
Yeah, that's what my
with
house
any
looks like,
luck.
and I've lived here for 35 years. That's what my place looks like.
Yeah, well, you probably don't plan on moving, huh? You're just gonna stay
I
there
know.
'cause
I
that'd be really hard to move.
people when they see my house, they ask me. They start asking, and then they realize they can't even get themselves to finish the question. Like, how will you move? And they don't even want to even imagine step one of that, because it would be impossible.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of great because you've found a place you like living at, and you're kind of settled there, and you don't
I'm
have to move. Why move?
I'm very happy here. I do have the luxury of having two brothers that live in Minnesota, and I get to see them a couple of times a year, and I can stay with them. So, okay, bye, Osni. That
Bye, Osmi.
Ornello. That's Osni's real name. Is Nello.
Oh, Nello.
Uh,
Nice.
so, well, I look forward to hanging out and maybe drawing again with you on the Zoom thing like we did. With
Yeah, I'd like to set up, something where I have now that I have more space and stuff like that. 'Cause I was just renting a room before. We could set up
okay,
a little like setup where I can have a good picture of the paper I'm drawing on, like how well you have yours set up and everything.
mm-hmm.
Try to figure that all out.
Yeah.
Because
Do
before I
you?
was just jerry rigging the computer in a way where I can, but it wasn't oriented very well to like looking at the picture. So
Yeah. Do you
like
have an iPad Pro yet?
I don't. I don't have an iPad at all. I have a MacBook and then I
Okay.
have an iPhone
If there's a way
and
for
that's
you
it.
to, I think you might enjoy drawing on the iPad Pro and making animations and stuff. But also the iPad Pro is what I use to broadcast, and I'm able to see what I'm doing. I just have it hooked up to this little wire here in this thing, and this little which iPad holder upper that doesn't
Oh
really work
yeah.
very well, so I have to glue it together and duct tape it and stuff. But uh, and Neville gave me one, a holder, but I need a piece of glass to connect it to, and I don't have a piece of glass, so I'm using this. But I think I think you would enjoy, uh, first of all, drawing and doing art and animation on the iPad Pro. And you can buy a secondhand one maybe for a couple $100.
Wow. Okay, they're not that expensive.
Well, they can be expensive, but if you buy one I bought them on eBay, and I don't think I paid more than like 250 for one,
Wow.
and the pencil you can get for $100. Even new, they're $100, and secondhand they're 99. So there's there's no price break there, but I think you could. I think you can do well. I think you'd enjoy them.
Yeah, it sounds
Um,
fun.
um, but if you have a friend, an artist friend that has one, uh, borrow it for an afternoon and just try it out, see if you like it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
It may be too it may be too slick. The surface is glass, and you're writing with a piece of plastic on the glass, so there's no feedback that you get. So you have to sort of learn to put the brakes on your strokes uh, faster because you'll slip.
Ah, yeah. Well, I do find that I like a nib that isn't too smooth, actually. I like a nib that has some grip, has a
Yeah.
little bit of grip. Not scratchy, but just, you know,
Well,
because I have a couple pens where they're so smooth, I don't enjoy using them,
no,
actually.
they're hard to use. They don't have that feedback that you like, and to me, they just sound sloppy. They feel sloppy. I
Yeah.
I feel like I'm skidding a little bit, or I don't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, that's one of the great
Um,
things about vintage is most of them have some kind of feedback or tactile quality with the paper. I don't
yeah,
find a lot of them that are super ultra like ice skating on the paper or anything like that.
yeah. Of course, if you use really, really smooth paper, that's different than
Hmm.
shitty paper you buy today. I mean, cheap, shitty paper you buy today. Um, but anyway,
Yeah,
so
I tend to draw a lot on the Staples 20% cotton laser paper because it
okay,
seems to hold up well and it's cheap. And
okay.
but it doesn't, it can handle the fountain pens and not feather.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of what you see me drawing on, that's what I'm drawing on. And
Okay.
it's just so easy to just waste. You just can do it. You're not, since it's not super expensive paper, you could just go
No.
wild with it and have fun.
And when you have to spend a couple of dollars a piece for a sheet of paper at the art
Yeah.
supply store, you're afraid to
Yes.
even start
Yeah,
a drawing.
exactly. Right.
Um, so
Yeah, like a good friend of mine taught me the value of wasting, when you're an artist and when you're drawing, and especially when you're trying to build your skills.
uh-huh.
Have materials you can waste and you could just go through a lot of it. I wish I
Well,
had
that's
known that when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, I was much more precious about everything.
yeah. I mean, having a pen and paper that you can just practice on, just to even get used to the pen. I mean, I could use this piece here for another 3 days, because I'm not really looking at what I'm writing. I'm just hearing the sound of the pen and feeling how smooth it is. I don't have to actually see the line it makes. I kind of know I know enough about what it's doing without having to look at it completely.
Yeah.
Um, and a piece of paper that's 120 years old, like this one, or older, I, even though I'm essentially wasting it, it is a pleasure to write on.
Oh
And
yeah, I'd
they're
love to
not
have
making
some
it
nice old
anymore,
paper
so
like
I,
that.
I will fill it up so it's almost completely black. Um, I'm going to drink some water because I'm suddenly very thirsty, and um, I'm going to get ready for my art opening that I'm going to go to. One of my neighbors is having a show opening tonight, so I have to make myself look pretty, and that takes hours. So
Sounds fun. Yeah, have a good time. That sounds great.
anyway, it's really good seeing you, and I'm sorry about my little bad joke I gave you. But
Oh,
anyway,
it's okay. A little bad
I fig
joke between friends is
I
worthwhile.
I I figured. Okay, well, you be
All
good.
right. Take
Bye,
care. Bye.
bye, bye, everyone.